Now with John Jackson, here's the voice of the Trojans, Pete Arbogast.
Welcome back. Second half of the show. Trojans live here at the lab just off campus. Ontario International Airport is one of Southern California's fastest growing airports. Come experience the SoCal So Easy way with ONT. Go to flyontario.com to see how we connect people and places. Fight on, Trojans, and fly on with Ontario International Airport.
Very good.
Now we've got two guys playing a sport that I know something about because I actually played this game in college. The water polo team is being represented.
Yeah,
now.
well, the question is, did you play well, Pete?
I was good on my team. Yeah, I was fine.
Well, you're right. Two members from the water polo team, Matt Maier and Sam Slobodien. Correct? Or did I get it
Let's
close?
call him
Close
Slobo.
Just close. Yeah. If I get Slobo, I got it right. So, Matt, I'll start with you.
Okay.
For you guys, it's a tough weekend. This past week, you guys have been #1 in the country. We sort of took it for granted, I think, even on this show, because we were talking about you guys always being ranked #1. It took it a little bit for granted. We did on this show. I know you guys didn't, because you guys work extremely hard at it. It was a tough weekend, obviously, in terms of not winning in the MPSF championship. But talk about the weekend, the difficulty, and sort of where you guys' mindset is now.
I mean, obviously, it was a tough weekend for us. We didn't do as well as we had hoped we would, but coming out of the weekend, it definitely fired us up, and we're definitely preparing and we're getting ready to go to the NCAA and do really well and play our game.
Slobo, you got a nice seed in the NCAA tournament too. It looks like you'll be okay, but it's not here. It's up at Stanford, and that's a tough place to play.
You know what? I think it's actually good that we had the losses this weekend because it got us prepared, and it's better that we lose then instead of in the finals or like in the semifinals. So I think it's a good loss for the team. Nobody ever wants to take a loss, but if we were going to take one, it's a good time to take it.
Did it make your coach Jovan Vavic pretty happy at practice?
Yevon's always a happy guy.
Yeah.
So.
Did it change, right? Did it change, or does it just always stay the same? You guys go up, and when you after you lose the first game, right? And I mean, we were sort of going through it ourselves on the broadcast, right? We talked about when they lost the first one, and it was sort of shocking. But sort of Sam or Slobo, let me get it right. What was the mentality going into the next game after that? After you guys trying to rebound?
So we take basically every game the same. Like we try to win every game by a lot, and we take it very seriously. But I don't know what happened that game. Everyone has a fluke, and we play our hardest every game. And you win some, you lose some. But we're ready for NCAAs, and we'll be ready.
There's not a lot separating those four teams. UCLA, Cal, and Stanford. That's just the way it is. When I see Stanford play, they do something that UCLA and Cal don't. When I saw you guys play UCLA, not this weekend, but the weekend before, they were allowing you to get a little closer to the goal than most other teams do. Well, Stanford will come out and press you and make you shoot long shots, and they make it more difficult. Anything change over the weekend?
Well, I think we created opportunities in offense. We were able to shoot the ball. It just we weren't on that day for whatever reason. We had our opportunities. We just couldn't really put them away as well as we'd hoped we would.
Yeah, Matt, talk about the training, because this is the one thing that fascinates me about water polo. Even compared to other sports, I was a football player, but I can tell you water polo is way harder to get in shape for. The number of hours of training, is it different here at USC? Is that one of the things that separates you guys, you feel, from other schools? What is it?
I don't know if it's number of hours. I think we all train similar number of hours. I think it's just the way we train with the intensity and our system that we have here with Jovan as our coach and Pinta and all of our coaches. They expect that excellence from us and the best every time. So I think it's just the atmosphere we have here that it's different from everywhere else.
Question for both of you. When did you start this game? Because it's a crazy game to get involved in. It is Southern California, and it's big, but you got to choose it at some point along the way. How did that happen?
Well, I started when I was 9, I think, because my brother, he was a big swimmer, and then as soon as I started to swim, and then as soon as I started to swim, he stopped swimming and played water polo, so then I kind of followed in his footsteps because he's my older brother, and I really look up to him, so he was kind of what started me into it.
Yeah, for me, it was different. I started a little bit later. I started when I was 14, and I wasn't really full in on water polo yet because I was a baseball player first. I was a pitcher, and I really didn't know what I wanted to do come high school. I had to make a decision, and I was like, do I want to pitch in high school or do I want to play water polo? And I was actually a better baseball player at the time, and then I was like, you know what, I really want to give water polo a shot. And I went with it, and now I'm here, and it's a great school, and I love what I did.
Let me back that up, because now when you're done, and you guys aren't close to being done yet, but when you're done, do you go overseas and play? Do you look to play the national team, club team? What are you guys going to do? They have leagues. People don't know. There's
Yeah.
leagues over in Europe, and they have 10,000 people watching these games.
Yeah. I mean, for a lot of people, that is the course they take, is to go in Europe and do their national team here. But personally, I think I'll probably not play after college just because I want to get a job here or get my life started in the U.S. But yeah, a lot of the options are to go overseas. There's so many teams over there, and that's where the best water polo teams are in Europe. That's like where the biggest. It's the biggest.
What do you think for your future?
I'm not really sure yet, so like I haven't decided. I could definitely see myself like wanting to go play somewhere else because I really want to travel the world and like see a lot of different places and see how water polo is in different parts of the country and different parts of the world. So I think I would be interested maybe to go try water polo somewhere else.
When you guys decided to come to USC, what was the thing that sort of, and this is a question for both of you, that sort of drew you to USC and specifically this water polo team?
I think what I said earlier, the atmosphere and the coaching staff really it just separates at USC from everywhere else. It's like I went on recruiting trips to a couple different schools, but the coaching staff here was really what drew me, and just the atmosphere on the team, the guys on the team, and everything just kind of it really.
Was the recruiting process like it is in football, where it's a constant, going after the top guys? All these the top teams are always going after the top guys.
Yeah, I think for the most part they can't start. Water polo can't start as early as football, I think, but
Like freshman year, right?
Yeah. Once it does start, I think during your junior year, it's pretty constant.
Intense.
Yeah.
Are you? I know most of the guys in high school both swim competitively and play water polo. Do you guys both do that as well? He said he played baseball.
Yeah. Yeah, I swam a little bit. I wasn't really a big swimmer. I'm not super fast, but I tried swimming, but it wasn't for me. Really.
What's your size? How big are you?
I'm 6'2", 200.
Yeah.
Ish.
Slobo?
6'3", like 240.
Yeah. And what are the whole guys these days?
Around that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is.
Oh,
Maybe
okay.
a little bigger. I don't know.
And pardon me for not knowing this off the top of my head, but the big guy we've got down low, who?
We're both kind of.
Yeah, we're both.
Yeah, you're okay.
Yeah,
All right.
both of us.
All right.
Size. I mean,
Because it's brutal down there, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's and size, and what a lot of people might not realize is the water polo is a very physical game. Where do you guys sort of pan out? Because in terms of adjusting your own bodies, because a lot of people say size is an advantage, but also you have to carry that extra size and weight in the pool. How much do you guys walk around weight-wise in terms of controlling your weight, or how important is that part to being effective in the pool?
I think it's just up to personal preference. For me, I don't really like to be super heavy just because I don't think I'll ever get to a weight where I can just physically dominate someone. But I like to move more, so I like to keep my weight a little lower.
For me, it changes all the time. Like summer training, I'll go down to like 228, and I'll stay there like most of summer. And then season comes around, and you kind of like build more muscle, and you're just staying constant. And then end of the season, like MPSF, I'm around 240, and then this week comes around, and I'll drop like 5 or 6 pounds, and I'll end up at like 235.
Oh, that quick?
Yeah.
Just working
Just
out?
from practice, yeah. And if you have like a right diet, you'll be fine.
What's the practice, about a couple hours?
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
So like come regular practice, like right now we're only allowed 4 hours, but like when it's like Thanksgiving and like off season, we can go as long as we want.
Does it change a lot from the start of the season? There's not as much conditioning now, I wouldn't think.
No,
Just a lot of
condition nearly
plays
as much. Yeah.
Yeah.
But typical practice, how long are you in the water?
2 to 3 hours.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. All right, well, thank you guys for joining us on Trojan Live.
Let me mention that they do play on December 1st against the winner of the UCLA match against Princeton or George Washington. So you get the Bruins again in a third. That'll be fun. And you owe them for that. And it'll be Stanford in the final, obviously, in their home pool. So it's never easy. Life ain't easy out there.
Hey, well, congratulations, guys, for making it this far. Represent the Trojans, bring back another national championship. Next up, it is time for JJ's Scouting Report. That's going to be JJ and Pete's Scouting Report, brought to you by The Lab. Catch all of your USC Trojans action and happy hour specials at The Lab right here at USC.
Thanks for stopping by, guys.
Thank you, guys. We appreciate it.
Good luck.
Thank you.
We'll be back with more Trojans Live.